Yo, thanks for tuning in to the 53rd episode of J Talks Crypto. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about the future of Bitcoin. And these, what I would consider the more viable layer 2s for Bitcoin. And so in my head, there's three main concepts. The first one is Lightning. The second one is this weird shit called state chains. And the third one is called side chains. And a whole bunch of people confuse them all the time. I've seen even people who've been into crypto or Bitcoin or whatever for years. And they don't even know the difference between something like Lightning and Liquid. So I'm gonna just briefly go over all of them and then just give my thoughts. So what is Lightning? Lightning is straight up Bitcoin. All it is just some fucking, you do a fancy signature on a regular ass Bitcoin transaction. And then you go ahead and then there's this separate system that between you and the other person who signed a similar transaction, you guys can now just debit and credit each other's accounts, and then eventually you can after you transact a whole bunch of times, you can then settle the balance. The main description that a whole bunch of people give is it's kind of like opening a bar tab. Yeah, that's the quick description of that. The one that people confuse Lightning with is Liquid, apparently. And that is a side chain. And essentially it's I am in no way qualified to be describing this shit right now, just as a heads up. But the way that I understand it is that you take Bitcoin and it's similar to wrap Bitcoin, where they put in some sort of fucking multi-sig, but it's not actually Bitcoin, and it's secured in a more trustful, in a way that requires more trust. I believe they follow some sort of federated model where it's a whole bunch of people have to collude to screw you over. And yeah, so it's just it has but it's its own blockchain. It's kind of if you're familiar with the Ethereum ecosystem at all, it's similar to how I feel that Matic kind of works. Except it's a little bit different because you don't need to settle everything back onto Bitcoin. And there's people that they say that I don't know, that's one of the reasons why I stopped believing in Ethereum and their layer, their thing, because the original promise of something like ETH was that you should be able to do everything on the fucking base layer. And what's the point of something like Matic? Why wouldn't Matic just eventually just then make their own blockchain? I feel a lot of people think that watch this channel think that I'm just a super duper hardcore Bitcoin maxi and I never fucked with altcoins at all, and it's just no, I got fucking wrecked. I actually didn't get wrecked because I actually listened to a whole bunch of Bitcoin maxis on Twitter and shit, and they were saying hey, it might be a nice time to sell, and I didn't really I just felt that they were more persuasive than a whole bunch of the altcoiners that I knew, and I was always I guess more philosophically aligned with Bitcoin, so for me it kind of made sense. So I just dumped 99% of my fucking shit, and anything that I didn't dump it went to fucking dog shit. So you learn your lessons. And that's why I said in one of the very first episodes, it's yo, if you want to trade shitcoins, when you want to trade altcoins, you could go ahead, but please, if you're up, sell it. Sell it for Bitcoin or sell it for dollars. But fucking sell it. Don't hold the fucking bag. There's no reason to hold the bag. All right. So back to explaining this weird shit. The last one is, I think it's relatively new. The only real application, the only wallet that I've seen use it is this wallet called Mercury Wallet, and it utilizes this second layer concept on Bitcoin called state chains. And it's a little bit different from Lightning, because sometimes when you hear people describe Lightning, they say that it's like nearly free, and it's because the way Lightning works is like you have a bar tab, but then it's like if I'm doing the action of like opening a bar tab, I do want to get paid, because it's like that having that channel open, having that bar tab open is like it requires some sort of infrastructure. And yeah, so it's not free. I guess that was the point that I was trying to make. Kind of blanked out over there. But yeah, and you know, you'll see that like you can have transactions on Lightning that are very, very cheap, like, you know, 1 Satoshi, a couple Satoshis, but it costs something. And I think, and that's important, because it's like they designed it in a certain way for it to have some sort of like when you develop these kind of protocols, like a lot of people think you just fucking slap together a blockchain and like, oh, they're like TikTok next block, the shit is just gonna fucking go. But it's not really like that. You need to design these things, and they need to like have like some sort of like game theory, some super complex game theory, to make sure that like it actually kind of like scales in tandem. Like you know, the theory is that you take Lightning to offset the heavy fees on the base chain, but eventually you do settle back, so it does contribute to the base chain like fee market. And that's actually what some people have against side chains, because some people think that side chains just always going to compete for block space against something like a main chain thing, like a state chain or a Lightning channel. And it makes sense if you think about it like that. Where I stand on the debate, I don't really know. I think that using something like a side chain, like if you're gonna shitcoin, at least do it on Bitcoin. I guess, I don't know. Like, I don't really know. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, what's the point? Like, it's like if I was gonna be like altcoining, the goal would be to either get more dollars or more Bitcoins. So like, I don't really care what chain you do it on. Just stack, bro. Just, you know, be smart about it. Don't hold the fucking bag. That's the message of this channel. You can stack Sats, or like, you know, if you want to stack tethers, stack USD. Like, that's on you. But I'm a stack. But you know, I just don't want to see people get wrecked. Don't hold the bag. But that was like a little I guess a little thing that I needed to go over regarding sidechain, because it is not without controversy. What else? All right, so it's like I actually don't know if I really properly explained what the fuck a state chain is. All right, so let's go. What the fuck is a state chain? Mercury Wallet. I was talking about something like that. And Mercury Wallet, essentially the concept of a state chain is that it's like you have fixed denominations of coins, but instead of it being nearly free, it's completely free. And it's kind of like the way that I see it, it's just like having like kind of like how like things work almost in real life, where you have a $1 bill and a $5 bill and like a $10 bill and like a $20 bill and a $100 bill. And in state chains, it's cool because you can still transact and it can be free, and there's a whole bunch of privacy benefits from it. But it's not like Bitcoin or like Lightning where you can just send such small denominations such as a Satoshi, and it needs to be like something fixed. So it's like you can only send chunks of 100,000 Satoshis. And it's like technically, or like, 500,000 Satoshis or whatever fucking size you choose to make your state coin. Um, like I said, I'm not super fucking qualified to talk about all this shit, but just want to throw those out there. Now, how do I think that these shits are actually going to be used in the fucking future? So the way that I think about it is that one of the main attacks that people have on Bitcoin is like privacy, right? And if you buy your coin straight up off of an exchange, that's a potential like an attack vector because that like that record is going to be there from the exchange to your wallet, and even if you use like a coin join to like to prevent the exchange from seeing your future transactions, um, they that record of your purchase is just always going to be there. So so essentially what I envision happening in the future with kind of like this privacy shit is that you're going to be able to open and close lightning channels straight into a state chain, and it's going to create like like one of the benefits of proof of stake, for example, is that you never like a proof of stake system is that one, there's nothing at fucking really at risk in a sense, um because like you don't have hardware actually generating consensus. It's just imaginary tokens. um that's a hard dig at proof of stake. Fucking imaginary fucking bullshit ass incest tokens. uh this man grimy. That was I got that shit from Michael Saylor. He called proof of stake inbred fucking system, and it's funny because that's essentially how they achieve agreement. That's what consensus is. That's what like all these ASICs that are crunching super duper loudly, all these little miners that we're doing, they are essentially helping set state the record of the network. And what proof of stake does is like they mint a whole bunch of tokens and they make them like fuck each other, and they're saying like, yo, like, do a whole bunch of your fucking tokens agree with my fucking tokens? If yeah, then like that's the state of the chain. And now that because we agreed with it, like you getting a little bit more tokens, bro. Good job. That's how I view proof of stake. In all honesty, uh, um. Anyway, that said, with that critique of proof of stake, because there's nothing at stake, it's a lot more. It's technically like more censorship It's in a way, it's more censorship resistance because, like, I mean, granted, there's like a billion fucking ASIC farms out there, and you cannot shut down all of them. But you could shut down. You can like fucking bomb all the big ass farms, right? And it does leave. And having a big farm does leave some sort of like actual real world footprint, as opposed to something like proof of stake. It's just a whole bunch of imaginary tokens on a fucking hard drive. So if you're getting state attacked by a state in a proof of stake system, you can still make money because you have imaginary tokens that you could just grab with you and be out. So in that sense, it's a little bit more censorship resistant because you're not. There's nothing like actually that needs to, it's like a circular kind of like argument with that, in my opinion. But the benefit of that is that you can kind of like take that concept and that apply that to Lightning and state chains. And because the origin is Bitcoin, where it is a proof of work kind of thing, it kind of like plays out. So it's like I could like envision a future where like privacy minded people are just transacting on lightning channels and state chains without ever hitting the main chain. And maybe in the future as well, that can happen because most users aren't gonna onboard. Like most users are still going to be onboarding through regulated exchanges, but if you onboard directly onto Lightning, even though that record will still be there, maybe it'll just be easier for like forward moving privacy. Um, anyway, as you guys know, this shit should be called JRAN's Crypto because that's pretty much what this video was. Um, anyway, this video is getting way too long. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys know I hate fucking asking. If we ever do get to 1,000, someone's gonna win this fresh ass open dime. Let me see if yep. See, this shit is factory fresh, brand new. Anyway, this is JTC53. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm signing off.